This year marks 10 years of the war in Afghanistan. We have to ask the question, are we entering into a phase of continued war? Because Afghanistan, prior to its invasion, was the second poorest country on earth. Against Afghanistan, the Taliban, who are Afghanis, we have two superpowers. One, the United States, and the other, Europe. Europe spends 5 times more on its military and intelligence affairs than China. Just over half that of the United States. These two superpowers have been unable to subjugate Afghanistan. Can they subjugate Afghanistan? Of course they can. If there was a national will in the United States to do that, and there was a national will in Europe to do that, of course they could subjugate the second poorest nation on earth. That they cannot is not merely a reflection of the sophistication of the resistance to occupation in Afghanistan and the sophistication of the Taliban, but rather it is a reflection of the lack of genuine will amongst European and US soldiers. Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal is to have an endless war, not a successful war. So Stop the War Coalition is important because we have to prevent it becoming normal for there to be a constant war. Very soon, within the next few years, it will become the normal for there to be a constant war in the West. People will reach maturity and adulthood under the understanding that there is always a war. And at that point, war will not be something that is unusual or surprising or horrifying. War will become the new normal.
Questo era valido per la guerra in Afghanistan, appena terminata. Un caso che si è finita proprio qualche mese fa. Che cosa è servita? Non ci sono mica i talebani al governo oggi in Afghanistan. Una guerra terminata giusto in tempo per entrare a salvare il popolo ucraino. E vediamo dove vanno i 54 miliardi che oggi mandano i nostri alleati, gli Stati Uniti, per aiutare i nostri fratelli ucraini. Ma lasciamo che sia Glenn Greenwald a raccontarcelo, il giornalista premio Pulitzer che ha rischiato la vita per portare a noi la storia di Snowden.
In case you're wondering who benefits in the United States, one thing we know for sure is that weapon manufacturers benefit greatly from the U.S. role in Ukraine. From Reuters on April 12th, the Pentagon asked the top 8 U.S. weapons makers industry's capacity to meet Ukraine's weapon needs if the war with Russia lasts years. So there's part of the answer about who's benefiting. The same people who always benefit from U.S. wars. The weapons manufacturing industry, what Dwight Eisenhower called the military-industrial complex, what Obama aides called the national security blob, what left-wing scholars have long called, and then what Trump supporters began to call the deep state, whatever you want to call it. It's the permanent faction in Washington that exists on and feeds on and thrives on endless war, that gets all of its profit and power, not just money, but power, authority, more and more authority and power whenever wars break out and the U.S. is involved. We know for sure they're benefiting.
Dall'Afghanistan all'Ucraina, alla pandemia. Ma è cambiato qualcosa? O si tratta semplicemente di continuare con il trend di versare le nostre tasse nelle casse delle grandi case farmaceutiche, in quelle dell'industria bellica, tra cui in realtà non esiste alcuna distinzione perché i loro fondi, come quelli della stragrande maggior parte dei media, sono gestiti prevalentemente da 2 asset manager, BlackRock e Vanguard, e la loro agenda è quella di lasciare la popolazione in ginocchio, mentre lo 0,01 della popolazione si accaparra tutte le risorse rimaste. Ma questo è soltanto quello che penso io. Sono curiosissima di sapere cosa ne pensate voi del contenuto di questo video, delle possibili soluzioni, che cosa possiamo fare. Lasciate commenti in questo video, mi raccomando, rimanete sintonizzati su questi canali per altri video di questo genere, iscrivetevi al mio canale YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, insomma, diversifico un po' su tutte le piattaforme, perché se mi tagliassero la lingua da un lato poi la facciamo rispuntare da un altro, e soprattutto, se potete, diventate i miei sostenitori su Patreon. Metto il link a tutto nella descrizione di questo video. Grazie e state liberi. Ciao.
The most important thing right now is the weapon systems, the weapons they need. They need to have Stingers and the Javelins, but they also need anti-aircraft capabilities. They need anti-missile capabilities. They need anti-tank capabilities. There's a lot of weapon systems, the weapons they need. Provide weapons.